Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. I'm Drawing with Mr. S, and today I've got some sad news. If you read the thumbnail, then you already know. Today's video is supposed to be an episode of me taking subscriber-submitted fantasy weapons and turning them into avatars or digital friends from my Avatar Battle series. Yeah, the one that primarily focuses on three protagonists, Austin, Owen, and Graham, along with their digital friends and avatars, Penny, the ice penguin, that evolved into Pensicle in the latest episode. We've got Zox, the water axolotl, and Dash, the fire cheetah. The reason I'm saying supposed to is because, like a total Chad, I completely deleted not one, not two, but all three recordings that I planned on showcasing for today's video. How did I delete them, you might ask? Well, I had a lot of recordings for Shadows of the Past, where I had 5 art pieces for my world building challenge episode. That was the most recent episode here on the channel. And honestly, you should probably check that out. They all turned out amazing, and you can see all the time and effort that went into them. And so I'll just leave it right here in the card for you, just so you can check that out at your own leisure. But back to the topic at hand. Because I had so many recordings on my video folder, I, without hesitating, selected several videos and deleted them. Now, some of you guys might be saying, well, why not restore them out of the trash? Well, to that I say, because I collectively selected a bunch of them and they were hours upon hours long, the prompt that I got was, are you sure you want to permanently delete these? And I said, yes. And of course, after saying yes, my immediate response to when I was getting ready to edit this video was, no. But have no fear, S-Squad. You see, Clip Studio Paint has a way of recording time lapses. CSP only records every stroke that you make, but doesn't take into account the amount of time it took you to make it, okay? So let's say an art piece took me about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but that time lapse might honestly only come out to about maybe, I don't know, 40 seconds because I didn't lift my stylus enough times off of the canvas. And so what you're gonna find out is that most of these CSP files that I have, they're honestly all under a minute and a half. Yeah, I know. I screwed up royally. So today, I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna show you the time lapses that CSP recorded. I'm gonna talk to you about what my plans were for these submissions. And then I'll even share some of the lore that was shared with me from the subscribers. So, without further ado, let's take these fantasy weapons and turn them into digital friends or avatars for my Avatar Battle series. Now, the first artist that was selected is a friend to the channel. It's Wild Howler Design, and they created the fantasy weapon known as the Master Forge, the All Weapon. Now, the name alone is beyond impressive, not gonna lie. But let's take a look at a little bit of the lore that Wild Howler submitted. At the beginning of time, the deities of the realm needed tools to create the world and all that's in it. After the tools served their purpose, the deities were supposed to destroy their respective tools. However, the smith could not destroy his creation and hid it from the others. Someone knew about the weapon's existence and stole it. The tool became a mighty weapon known as the Master Forge. The weapon would take a different shape depending on who wielded it, but striking it 3 times, it would return to its hammer form. Now, I thought the lore was great, okay? My original thought for integrating it into my Avatar Battle series was pretty simple. I originally thought that I could turn it into a dwarf. Since the series is about using avatars in battle, I wanted to keep the appearance very, very simplistic. I removed some of the details off of the Master Forge hammer, and I gave it to a generic dwarf character. I wanted the hammer in the episode to change into different weapons when different battle chips were used. So we would have had a crossbow, we would have had a sword, we would have obviously had the regular hammer, and so on and so forth. I was also going to do a little nod to Wild Howler Design's name by calling his final attack Wild Howling Smash. Honestly, I hope you like the way this digital friend turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, the second artist that submitted in an art piece was also another friend of the channel, Gib Doodles. Now, Gib's weapon is very unique. This weapon is based off of a Hansel and Gretel fairy tale. So here's some of the lore that they mentioned. After the encounter with the witch, Gretel raided her home and took some of her giant candy to build a weapon. The weapon functions as both an axe and a spear if the axe head is ever removed. It is quite large, so only strong people can handle it. And let's be honest, guys, the weapon's appearance is obviously peak, and it's multifunctional, right? So obviously it was something that was such a nice touch to it that you just had to use it. So when I got the submission, I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do with it, and I wanted to turn this fantasy weapon into a narwhal whale. I know, weird thought, but that's what I came up with. The body was easy enough because you just had to make like a candy cane body, right? The horn and tail ends just had to be sharp and look kind of scary and violent enough. And let's not forget to mention, the fins on the side were the axe blades. The goal was to have a candy-obsessed player using this avatar in a battle against one of the protagonists. Yeah, and that's about all I got on this one. Gib, I really hope you enjoy the way this one turned out. The final submission comes from Null, also another friend of the channel. They made a spirit lantern that could hold a single soul. And what's really cool about the way that they described it was that the soul that resides in the lantern is willing to help in exchange for hijacking a body, okay? And I felt like this one was intriguing and yet difficult to pull off. And I wanted to draw this ghostly apparition that was like coming out of the lantern itself. And I thought this could have introduced a brand new elemental type to the game that I'm creating with Avatar Battles, and I would have called it the Spirit type. Now, my idea for this was pretty simple. A player was going to use this Spirit Lantern avatar and face off against one of the protagonists, and that protagonist was going to have such a difficult time dealing with this apparition, the spirit, because they're linked to this Spirit Lantern. They would have taken a lot of damage before they realized that in order to cause any damage to the Spirit Lantern avatar, they really needed to destroy the lantern portion first. All right, well, no, I hope you enjoy the way that this art piece turned out. All right, guys, so I know not my traditional story time-lapse episode, but I hope you like the way the art pieces turned out. All right, but either way, let's go ahead. Let's congratulate our 3 recipients one more time. Of course, we're going to thank Wild Howler Design, Gib Doodles, and Null. Now, with all this being said, I've got 3 announcements to make. So if you can bear with me on this one, I'd greatly appreciate it, okay? Number 1, the community redraw submissions have been less and less and less on the submission side lately. And it makes it difficult for me to write up a story and redraw things as other things when I have a lack of submissions, okay? And because of this trend that I've been having for the past few of these community redraws, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to put it on hold for now. Number 2, there are gonna be some changes coming to this channel in regards to what I post and when I post. So the amount that I'm posting and the amount of art that'll also be involved per episode will change as well. So I want you guys to hear that up front, just in case you start noticing, oh, this video only had 1 or 2 art pieces, right? Instead of my typical 3, or with my outlier from the last episode, 5 art pieces that had multiple characters, multiple drawings on each one, things like that. I'm not trying to diminish the quality of my artwork, but I am trying to see what I can get out and see if I can put a little bit more effort and energy into like a single piece or 2 pieces rather than multiple pieces. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. I think the only thing that it may not apply to is the world building challenge that I'm having a blast with. Finally, number 3. I should have done this a while ago, okay? So we are over 2,100 subscribers and we're closing in on 22. So I really want to do a stream on Saturday. So if you guys can, be on the lookout for my next poll where I'll put down some suggestions of what we can have the stream be about. But also, if you have a suggestion for what I should do for that stream, leave it in the comments in that poll. I really want to know, and then I'll put out a new poll with the ideas to get the most likes. All right, well, that's all from me. As always, I'm Drawing with Mr. S, and I'll see you in the next video. Y'all take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Bye-bye.